First things first, the new Netflix series Supacell is a must watch. I just finished watching it. It's one of the most enjoyable TV series viewings that I've had in a really long time, probably of all time when it comes to predominantly black ensemble cast. It's a Netflix series based out of the UK, all black cast, um, taking the superhero genre and injecting it with black excellence, and not even in like a superhero genre, but making the black characters fit into that genre, but rather taking the superhero genre and making it fit into black culture. This is such an incredible show. Shout out to the Black Brits because they definitely did their big one with this series. It was absolutely for the culture. The vibes were there. The action was there. The writing was there. The script was there. The acting was there. The casting was there. There's just so many great things to say about this series on Netflix. And, I finished the Acolyte on Disney Plus. I watched the latest episode of The Boys on Amazon Prime. And I was saying to myself, like, dang, I need something new to watch. And so I actually logged into my cousin's Netflix account because I don't have one. And I had got kicked out of her account, but today something told me to just log into it, logged into my cousin's Netflix account and saw that the number two show on Netflix, excuse me, was the series called Supacell. And, I be seeing a lot of like international stuff on Netflix, and sometimes I want to watch it, and sometimes I get really interested in it. One of my all-time favorite Netflix series is a series called 3% based out of Brazil. So I know that like that international content can be amazing. And something just told me to watch this series. And I didn't really know what to expect, and I was like, I'll give it a chance by watching the first episode. And the more I watched the first episode, I'm like, dang, like this show is really, really good because I'm a huge fan of fantasy. I'm a huge fan of science fiction. And so, superheroes are like that intersection of science fiction and fantasy. So I was all in based off of that premise. And so I'm just like watching the first episode and it's just getting like better and better and better as they develop the plot and the cast and just like where it's taking you. And so, like the basic premise of the series is that, there are these, black these black superheroes. And it reminded me of Black Lightning. I think Black Lightning, which was on, the CW, did a really great job of like infusing the superhero genre into black cinema and black television. And this series, Supercell reminded me of Black Lightning so much because Black Lightning was like, it was a superhero genre, but it was so much for the culture. And so I kept getting that impression. And, I have never been to the UK. I've never been to Britain. And so this was just like kind of like an outsider's view, of this culture. And maybe that's one of the things that made this series resonate with me so much because like, it seemed like I was seeing this new culture, this beautiful culture for the first time. And in the series, there's a lot of, gang violence and a focus on gangs. And we know that gangs are, a fixture or very commonplace in the, underclass and disprivileged, communities. But, it wasn't cliche. It wasn't gratuitous. I think the portrayals of the gang life was so nuanced and the characters were very layered. I didn't really know what to expect. And one of the things that really stood out to me is that they used a lot of knives instead of guns. And that's like something that is so different from the United States, because in the United States we have an epidemic of gun violence, especially with our gangs. And so even just to see that was like really, really refreshing. And so, each episode I believe is named after one of the main characters who, has the superpowers. And I don't want to reveal too much of the plot because I really want people to watch this series and just let it unfold for them. But it's just so many dope things, like the pacing and the suspense and the drama and, like the just not really knowing what's coming next and not really knowing how things are tied into each other. And it does, use the topic of medical apartheid and like racism in science to kind of like tell this story, because one of the main plot points is focusing on the sickle cell disease, which is like a disease that primarily affects Africans and descendants of Africans. And just to see how they weave that in, I felt like everything was so topical, everything was so thematically tied to what the series is about. And just portrayals of Black love and just the diversity of Blackness that is on the screen. You got Black fathers, you got, Black men being raised by their grandmothers, you got Black women, you got nurses, you got, you got people in the narcotics trade, and you got, like blue collar workers. And so there's just such a wide spectrum of the different type of Black people that are depicted in this series. And just shout out to shout out to the writer and producer, because this just was an incredible depiction of Black Britain. And I say that as an American, so let me know if I'm not correct in that assessment. But I was just like thoroughly impressed, just seeing the different portrayals, and everyone just looked so good in the series. Like, just, man, I just could not get over how beautiful the cast is. I mean, this is a great looking cast from top to bottom, from start to finish, from beginning to end. It is an incredible cast. These are really good actors and actresses, and I believe that there are a lot of cameos in the series. Some people's first time watching, being in having an acting role. Um, so yeah, it's just a great series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I binged the entire thing in like 6, 7 hours, maybe 12 hours, because I tried not to get through it. But it just, it's so good. The payoff is so good in the end. And the special effects are really good. That's one of the things that I was like looking at, like, dang, is this just like another little cheesy series? It is not a cheesy series at all. Like, it's such a fresh take on the superhero genre. The special effects are incredible. And that was one of the things again that I was looking at, was just like, how is this special effects going to be? And it's almost like 6 degrees of separation, because the characters are all connected in so many ways, so many clever and thoughtful ways. And it sounds to say that it's a perfect series, and I know other people, who may be more astute, media critics, may have some things to say, but I was thoroughly impressed. And, I hope that there's a second season, because I really, really want to see where this series goes. Like I said, it just had the right amount of plot twist, the right amount of twists and turns. Like even up until like the very end, it's like you just have to keep expecting the unexpected with this series. And yeah, I just felt really good watching this series. It looked really good. It felt really good. And, I was just excited to hop online and just share my thoughts on it. So again, shout out to the creators, shout out to the actors, shout out to the wardrobe department, the hair department. Again, these people look really good. It's not always the case that, Black talent, really, really gets the love that they need. The series felt expensive. It was just dope. So I highly recommend that you Head over to Netflix and watch this series so it can be the #1 series in the world. Let's run it up like y'all did Squid Games. Let's run it up like y'all did Stranger Things. Let's run it up like y'all did Avatar, because this is definitely for the culture. It's such a great series. It touches on so many topical things: gang violence, disease, genetic diseases, and what else did they discuss? Just like having to, sell narcotics to make ends meet. And it just touches on so many different things. So I give this series like a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 on a 5 scale, an 8 or a 9 on a 10 scale. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So I highly recommend that you all watch. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please like this video, subscribe to my page, share my video, and thank you all for watching. So please head over to Netflix to watch Supacell, because they have done the superhero genre so much justice. And it's like it brings a realism to that genre that is often missing. Again, that reminds me so much of like Black Lightning or Meteor Man, where it's like it's not the superhero genre or the science fiction genre just for that sake, that this is being told through a topical and culturally specific lens. So yeah, go ahead and watch that and let me know what you think in the comments below.